Billy Lee, Limerick senior football manager. Billy, I suppose you're facing into a Munster semi-final for the third year in a row. I suppose the issue around tickets doesn't make it ideal, but what's the mood like in the camp? Is there a bit of a buzz there?
Yeah, look, I think, look, lads are looking forward to it. I think, importantly, like we're not getting too excited or too caught up because there's a big game coming. I think it's great that lads are kind of getting used to the importance of games and handling that, and they're handling it quite well. And I think that's what we've got to try and manage in Limerick now, that we can't be just, we've got to accept that these games come, they'll all be important through the league campaigns or through the championship, and handle ourselves and manage ourselves there, and if you get to a big final, we can consider that a big day. But other than that, it's just we just got to take us another day in the office and hold our standard, which is what we'll be trying to do on Saturday evening.
Yeah, and you got to the semi-final by virtue of a big win over Waterford, 4-18 you put up in the scoreboard. It was the third year in a row of a Munster Championship victory. It must have been a really satisfactory day for you.
Yeah, it was. I suppose going into it, look, you always look back in these things in hindsight, and it's never the same going into it. We very much kept our feet in the ground. You just don't know what you're going to expect in a given day. I knew Waterford came, and we're looking forward to the game, and came with high hopes. And it was only last year we were within a score of them in the league in the McGrath Cup. So you just don't know how these things are going to pan out. So look, on hindsight, I think the scoreline didn't do Waterford justice. I know we had another couple of goal chances, couldn't have taken, but you wouldn't have said at half time prior to getting the second goal that we were going to win by that scoreline, and look, maybe that's a bit of maturity from the lads. We did the same against Wicklow in the league with the second water break in the league game against Wicklow. We were only 2 points up, and it certainly didn't look like we were going to win by whatever it is we won by. But I suppose that's probably shown now that the lads can pour on for the 70 minutes, keep their concentration, and that's been a big learning process. And thankfully, look, the lads have learned it and they're managing it, and that's great for us.
You talk about learning processes there. I suppose the third successive semi-final, obviously a heavy defeat to Cork in 2019, and a narrow loss to Tipperary last year. What are the big learnings you've taken from them two games?
We won't go into the learning that we took from the Tipperary 2019 to Cork. That was something the lads learned a really, really hard lesson about, and thankfully, look, that stood them in good stead since. I suppose the message out of that was, win one game and not get too excited about it. But it was an important milestone as well for Limerick football to have won that game after 7 long years, and it's no surprise lads were excited about it. And but what came down the track of us after that, we just probably wasn't ready from it because of the elation of the Tipperary game. But the lads very much learned that, and we looked after them down in Cork that day. It's fair to say the game was over after probably 10 minutes, and I just felt taken off anyone in the first half would have been an awful damning blow to young lads who were trying to build and look after. So we looked after lads and we left it, and we made a couple of switches at half time away from the limelight of having lads having to walk off the field, and that was a really, really important thing to do because they were young lads, they were learning, and signs on they've kept on that journey of learning. I think last year then again just against Tipperary was just one of those things that you just got to take in the chin. We had the opportunities and we just didn't see it out, but I suppose it reiterates the messages we've always been saying to them, that games are only won and lost in the last 5 or 10 minutes of a game. Whether you're up or down a certain amount, it doesn't matter. You'll be given opportunities, or you'll give away opportunities if you're ahead, and so it's about seeing out the 70 minutes and realising that. And I think they're the lessons I would take out of the two games, and I'm sure the lads took the same because, as I said earlier, you wouldn't have thought going into 5 minutes from half time against Waterford we went out some convincingly, and certainly against Wicklow and the McGrath Cup, the National League game, you wouldn't have thought we were going to win by whatever it is we won at the water break,
Is that something you've looked at for this Saturday, is just to get a good start and just stay in contention for as long as you can?
Oh, I think the focus is about us maintaining our standard for 70 minutes that we've been aspiring to try and achieve, and probably done it well against um, Wicklow, Derry, and Waterford. Against Tipperary, we played really well for the second half. I think a bit of maturity after the water break against Tipperary. In the first half, we managed to hold ourselves in the game. We weren't playing well in the first 15 minutes. We had a kind of a tough conversation at the water break, and the lads again showed a bit of experience that they found an extra bit and held themselves into the game, and we got a chance to rectify. So I think they're all evidence of the lads learning and growing in themselves, and ability in its own doesn't win games for you. It's a misconception that you need maturity, you need experience, you need a calm mind, you need to take the lessons from other games. They all have to enhance the ability of players, and without those, ability in its own doesn't get you over the line. And it's fair to say the lads have learned that really well over the last number of years. And any harsh lessons they've learned, they've taken it on board. And I suppose I keep saying it. Like, I've always been impressed with these guys, of their attitude and their willingness to work. And even when we were getting beaten in 2018 quite comprehensively in some games, I kept saying it, like, these lads were really focused and wanted to move forward and do the best they can. And thankfully, they've proven my opinion of them right. And that's not just down to my, it's just what I was seeing. It was easy enough to see it, and we great faith in them. And look, whatever comes on Saturday evening, we won't be changing our opinion on them.
Yeah, and just on Cork, I suppose they're probably coming in under the radars a small bit, probably a below par league campaign for them, and they obviously got a buy into semi-final. You're fully aware of the threat they're going to bring on Saturday.
Absolutely. It's only 2 years ago they dusted us in Park Urine by whatever the scoreline was. So we've got to see how much of that scoreline have we bridged and intervened in 2 years. I think the McGrath Cup, we played them in last year. At max, I'd say they'll have 4 of that team's captain, so there'll be 11 changes. So that's a fundamentally different team. It's great to have won the McGrath Cup, and it's great to have beaten Cork, because they'd be seen as one of the top 2 teams in Munster. Historically, anyway, I'm sure Clare and Tipperary might have views on that at this stage of their development over the last number of years. And so look, we'll see where it comes. But look, it's certainly not to be underestimated. At the end of the day, they're in Division 2, lost out on fighting for a chance in promotion due to scoring difference. And so that puts them mid to top in the Division 2. So we were mid to top in the Division 3 this year, so there was a full division ahead of us, which is a given year and a full standard. So we've got to bridge that gap and try and attain that, So it's people will always think that the Cork are there to be taken, but it's never as simple as that at all, and that's the mistake people can perish on, because they come with high expectations. We've got to just keep ourselves focused on ourselves and keep trying to improve our own standards. And if we can do that, then we'll see where the gap is between where Cork are and where we are. Please God, we can maintain that, or at least get another 5 or 10% improvement on top of that. And that's our aim and our sole focus for this for Saturday night.
And just on improving standards there, it's been 11 years since Limerick were in a Munster final, and this will be a 3rd semi-final in a row. To just get to that next level, how important would it be for you to win on Saturday and get to Munster final?
Yeah, look, it'll further enhance the development of the lads, and a lot of what will come down on Saturday is both physical and mental, and the pace of the game, the intensity against the Division 2 team. If we just refer back to the weekend just gone, and you look at 3 Division 3 teams, got a 13, a 16 and a 22-point beating. That tells you the gap here between Division 1 and Division 2 and further down, so that's what you're talking about. And look, Laois, Longford and Antrim, and we'll be playing them 3 teams next year. So that's what you're trying to bridge. That's it in real numbers, and it's just the intensity of the games that these teams bring, and the depth of their squads and their talent. And so look, we'll just have to kind of focus on ourselves and strive to get 5 or 10% more out of ourselves, and 5 to 10% more out of ourselves based on the standard we've had against the previous 3 games. If you're not coming to the standard, you're not going to be at the races. And even if you come at that standard, you're still a bit short based on if you see the trend that's been happening. So we've got to hit our standard, and we've got to try and find improvement in that. And look, I'd have every faith in the lads putting their best foot forward to do that. And we'll see then where it